How you doing, guys? Welcome back to my channel. As ever, it's amazing to see you. I really appreciate you being here. If you do not subscribe, please subscribe, and I guarantee in at least one of these videos there'll be something worthwhile and you'll take a lesson from it. So today I'm going to be talking about touch points. Now you might be thinking, what a touch point? So touch points are a marketing principle that was developed by a guy called Hank Brigman. And what they basically refer to really simply is the number of communications or interactions between a consumer and a brand or a product. And what it basically equates to is there is some sort of maths involved in there and some sort of like guesstimation in terms of how many touch points a consumer interacts with before they make a decision to buy, and how that decision to buy then leads into brand loyalty and things like that. So it's a process and a technique that I use a lot in my social media approach, and the reason I do it is because I want people to come across my name as many times as possible, so they get the impression that, you know, this is what Luke does. He takes pictures in the dance music industry, and he's taking pictures of these people, and I build up all of these touch points. Now, on average, it's about 20 touch points for people to make a purchasing decision, and also that purchasing decision to turn into brand loyalty. That plotting changes depending on industry and product and things like that, and it can be quite complex. But within the whole touchpoint process, you have things like awareness, and you know, one of the initial awarenesses could be done in TV or radio. So say for instance we've got consumer A and they're listening to the radio, and product A comes up in a message. So that's one touch point. Then you move into consideration. So consideration could be that same consumer gets an email in their inbox 3 or 4 days later by coincidence or part of a marketing strategy from that brand about said product. That's now 2 touch points. So slowly this person's starting to build a relationship with this brand without actually having a verbal or interactive relationship. There's 2 touch points. Now, as that continues to go from awareness to consideration, you then would move into like the purchasing stage. So say for instance that consumer has seen it in a direct mail, you know, they're considering it. So one of their friends is now using said product, and okay, what do you think of that product? So there's an engagement over it. Somebody else has then referenced it, saying that they enjoy it. That's then 3 touch points. So that person is pretty much primed to make a purchasing decision, and it's like, okay, I really like this product. I know that so and so is using it and they're happy with it as a product, and it leads on to the purchasing process. So that could be going into a retail environment, that could be sending an email, calling a call center, and then from there, service delivery. So for instance, they go into a retailer, they buy product A, let's say it's the latest iPhone. They go into an Apple store, they buy the latest iPhone, the service they get delivered is amazing, which then equates to another touch point. So the customer has first inception of product, they've then seen it come up again, they've then had reference that it's great, they've then bought the product, they've had great service. All of these markers tally up, and eventually you get to the point where you then lead into loyalty, which is one of the last stages. And that basically is saying that that customer has such a great experience through all of those interactions or all of those touch points that they're happy to become loyal to the brand. So the probability is consumer A later on in life is then going to buy another iPhone because of the first experience they had. And this just isn't specific to iPhones. This is just the example I gave. So if I give an example as me as a photographer, I make sure I plug my work on Instagram, on Facebook. I've started this YouTube channel, on Twitter, on my website, when I take pictures of people. So say for all of those, so let's use Instagram for instance. I use Instagram and I take a picture of a DJ. I then say to the DJ, when you share this picture, can you credit me in this picture? So not only do my audience get to see my picture, or my potential clients get to see my picture I've uploaded, they then see another DJ uploading a picture that I've taken. So that's almost that 3rd stage in the iPhone process where it's somebody referring me because they've used the service. They then get in contact with me, they make a booking, I then shoot with them, I deliver great service, they become touch points. So that then DJ moves into eventually the loyalty stage. So then you start creating yourself referral partners. So these DJs, when another DJ says, actually I need some press shots, they will then reference me because the marketing experience or the touch point journey that they've gone through from awareness, consideration, purchase, service and loyalty has all been great all the way through that process. They're very happy to refer me. So I then create referral partners by using this touch point strategy. So it can be quite complex, and this is why I always go back to what I say, like I'm better at marketing than I am taking pictures because I understand this process. I know how to use Instagram. Now, say for instance I've done that with one DJ. I then do it with 2 DJs, I do it with 3 DJs, I do it with 4 DJs, I do it with 20 DJs. I have 20 touch points without even having to use my own touch points to be able to sell my services or products. You know, if I do that over 100 times, I then start to build up a name and a reputation in the industry that makes it very easy for me to bring in new business, and people then refer me. So it's a very simple structure if you know how to use it correctly. If you want to do some more research, just look into Hank Brigman or just put in marketing touch points and you'll get an idea. And what you want to be looking for as a DJ or a photographer, you can use, or anything in the world, is making sure you have these touch or reference points available out in the market for your potential clients to come across. So I use Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, my own website, my own personal Facebook. I use all of these. I use people that I work with. All of those are avenues for me to create touch points with potential clients. And that's largely how I have managed to do what I've done in the period of time that I've done it in, by using just this one marketing principle. So it's well worth looking into. I hope from the short video you get an understanding of how it would work, and you know, it could be quite interesting for you to understand how it does work. And let's give you another tip. So this stuff is gold dust. You know, if you were going to go pay for a marketing course in doing this stuff, there'd be some influencer standing on stage and you'd probably be paying him £500 for the privilege of being there. How do you manage to create these touch points? So let's give an example. Say for instance you want to work with a specific marketing agency. You find out who the art buyer is and you're like, okay, right, I need to create touch points that this art buyer is going to interact with, so I can potentially, hopefully, the probability would be I may get some business. You might, you may not. Okay, so you do this with a few art directors and the probability is eventually one of them is going to buy. So how do you bring that potential client into your space so you can deliver those touch points? Because you could just throw them out in the world and by chance somebody could stumble upon them, but you could be more calculating in terms of bringing those people into your space so you can pitch directly to them. So a good example, use LinkedIn. So for instance, you go on LinkedIn, you type the name of the agency, you look through the list of employees on the agency and you come across John Smith. Okay, fantastic. So then you then go on to Twitter, you look at that agency, or you go onto Twitter or you go onto Instagram, you search that agency and you look for the people that agency is following. Now the probability is that agency is going to follow its staff, depending on the size or the scale of it. So you go down and there you go, you find John Smith in the list that the agency follow. So you've found John Smith, fantastic. His page isn't blocked or isn't on private. You open up his page, you start liking a few of his pictures. Brilliant, you've caught his attention. That's one touch point. He's now going, who's this guy liking all my pictures? So he stares at your Instagram account that's got all your amazing pictures showing off the type of work that you do. You've created one touch point. You've lured him into that space. So intelligently, what you do from there is you then go onto LinkedIn and you add him as a friend on LinkedIn. Okay, he accepts your friend request. That's 2 touch points. And you see how this starts to escalate and it starts to build. And from this, you can create your own demographic that you can pitch to directly. I'm going to leave it there. If you found this video useful, please do pop some comments below. I'm happy to help anybody at any point. And, you know, everything that I know, I'll share with anybody. I'll give away everything I know for free to the people that have the drive enough to ask me. Because I know the people that have got the drive to ask me are in that small 5% of people out there that will actually fucking do something with this and make a difference in terms of where they want to go in their career. For the other 95%, they'll listen to it and go, oh yeah, that was cool, but they won't actually action it. So hopefully I get a few questions in terms of how to use this, and you guys will start having more success in terms of marketing yourself as photographers or DJs or creatives or anything out there that you could possibly imagine. So as ever, thank you ever so much for coming back to my channel. This was a very shotgun approach video because I don't know if you can tell, I'm full of energy today and I want to just get something out there that's useful to other people. So I hope you've enjoyed and I look forward to seeing you again. Please do not forget to hit the subscribe button, and if you found this useful, share it with as many people as possible because you'll create additional touch points for me and the world will be a happier place. Cheers, take care, bye.